Hi, and welcome to the Yarn Habit Geek podcast. My name is Laura. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Yarn Habit Geek. There's also a Ravelry group for the podcast if you wish to join. Welcome to all new viewers, and welcome back to all the old viewers. Let's get started with this week's episode, shall we? Alright, whips of the week. I have a total of 4 whips, and one I promised I'd start working on since last week. First up, the Hogwarts blanket. And I am now finally past this section right here, separating the bottom half of the crest with the upper half. So I've now started on Slytherin and Gryffindor. And hopefully I can get more done for next week's episode, if possible. Oh, maybe finish. That's if possible. And next up is a square for the Ron Weasley blanket. I've gotten back to work on it, and I'll probably be doing more squares later in the week. Most likely I'll finish another square for next week's episode. If I can finish more than one square for next week's episode, I will be good. But I will be popping this into the blanket before next week's episode. And next up is something I only work on when I gotta go back and forth between film work, and that is what I call the mindless knit scarf. And this is using the Karen tea cake. Basically, I started this scarf when Justice League came out into theaters. So I only work on it during my travels between here and where we film for the Sean Ward show. Of course, I film here in my own location. So this is going to be most likely the ongoing project. And I absolutely love the color, because it's varying degrees of green, and just this week I got to this section of green. And last up in whips of the week is the project I picked last week from the selection of the 18 projects from my whip limbo, which was the tiger rug. And a little reminder, if I can't even remember, I'd have to check my show notes, but before it went into limbo, I had finished the bottom half of the tiger rug. Right now, I can't even show it fully on film, well, on the camera, but if you follow my Facebook, you will see some of the whips I've done on it. I can't remember because I either started this before or after the Facebook, but this is just the bottom half. And I did have the front, and before it went into limbo, I was working on the top half, but it was supposed to be done in intarsia, and it was getting all weirded. So I decided to do my weird method of kind of Fair Isle. It's a little weird, but it works for me because now there's no gaping holes, and I won't have to do as many ends. So I had to restart the top part. So I will probably get more work done on this during the week because I had to restart this last week after last week's episode. So this is just week's worth. Almost 20 rows of knitting. So hopefully I will have more done on this top half of the tiger rug. And actually, that is it for this week's whips. Let's get on to finished objects, shall we? Alright, finished objects. I only have one this week, and I did say I would have it done by this week, and it is the Jughead hat. And I actually, this is the extended version of the one that's in the book Dominatrix, which I'll be posting a link in the show notes when I update all my show notes, which I will be doing this week on Ravelry. But basically I extended the pattern by 7 stitches, and it actually works out a little better because it will fit an adult head a little better. And yeah, sorry, well, that is it for finished objects. Hopefully I can get something done for next week. So, and we got one more segment, and that'll be it for this week's episode. Alright, last segment of this week's episode, and it's Stash Editions, which I don't do much now because, well, as soon as I get something in the stash, I'm automatically using it. So that's why I normally do my yarn buy of the week on my Facebook. But I got these two yesterday, the Patons Canadiana in navy and winter white, for a future project I'm going to be working on. Well, let's face it, I'm going to be starting it today. That's why I just didn't start working on these yet. Started using these yet. And if you're wondering what I'm making with these, it's going to be, if you play the game Overwatch and you've seen the shorts that are on YouTube, it's the short I believe called Rise and Shine. I don't have the pattern technically in front of me because it's on my phone, which I am using to film the podcast. But it is the hat she wears after she wakes up from her cryo sleep. So, but I still need to buy the faux fur pom-poms and the faux fur for the front of the hat. So I will at least get the knitting done on May's hat from that Overwatch short. And basically that is it for this week's episode. I will see you all next week, hopefully with more done on whips and possibly something done, one more done in finished objects. So till then, stay crafty, my friends.